Boys, Joseph Wingbro here. I'm just sheltering from the storm Melissa out here in the tropics in Dominican Republic. And this evening I'm going to talk to you about cold approach, the mental phantom of approach anxiety. Approach anxiety, if you're into approach, you know exactly what this is. It's the feeling of nerves, of stress, tension that guys get when they see a beautiful woman, they want to go and talk to her, okay? And I'm going to explain to you why in this video it's not actually real, it is a mental phantom, and it's not evolutionary. It's not evolutionary, and I'm going to explain to you exactly why in this video. This is going to blow your mind, because the received wisdom is it's an evolutionary thing. No, it is not at all. So, just to introduce the topic of cold approach. Well, if you're on the channel, hopefully you already know what it means, but it's when you go up apropos of nothing and begin a conversation with an attractive woman with some idea of moving it forward to exchanging numbers and taking things from there. It's called cold approach because you don't know the girl and you're going to her with no introduction in the streets, in the mall, in the cafe, even in the nightclub. And I'm going to put this to you, my friend. There has never been a better moment to get into cold approach than 2025. The climate has never been better. It's never been better. Why is this? First of all, women are crying out for it. Women are crying out for it. Apps are an absolute dumpster fire. Not just for men, it's also bad for women as well, okay? There's no context for them to place you as a guy. They're moaning that guys just don't know how to approach anymore. I watched a video the other day, and it was all women moaning that guys don't approach them anymore. Yeah, they don't know how to. And they're actually going out getting dressed up, hoping guys will talk to them, and they're not getting anything, right? So there's never been a better opportunity. I understand men have been a little bit beaten down with the whole Me Too things in the last few years. They became afraid to just go and act on their natural impulses. And, well, all that stuff it's basically all gone now anyway. All that garbage is basically over now. So we don't need to worry about that anymore. Women have woken up to the fact they do actually want masculine men to come over to them and initiate. They don't want to be the initiator. For God's sakes, they're going to end up carrying a child if it gets that far. Yeah. So the least we can do is go over and chat them up. For God's sakes. So there's never been a better opportunity, and the competition right now is very, very limited. 99.9% of guys have become very passive, and this offers you in the next few years a tremendous window of opportunity. If you learn cold approach right now, you'll just be unopposed. You'll be unopposed. And you know, myself and my friends, when we head back to the UK and Europe, we meet up and we go out into the streets, and it's just a playground. We're absolutely unopposed. I remember being 20, 21 and going to nightclubs, and it was like it was a lot of competition. All the guys 18 to 30, they were all in. Yeah. I'm 40 years old. I go out into the street now and there's no competition out there, guys. So if a bald 40-year-old dude can do it, you can definitely do it, right? So you've got an amazing opportunity in the next few years to get started with cold approach. Okay, so let's address the issue of the approach itself. So let's say you've decided, you know, I want to go and do this. I think I can put my best foot forward. I think I can go and do it. You go out into the street, you go out into the cafe, you go to the club, and the girl you want to approach, you see her, and all of a sudden, you get a bit of a freeze response. Your muscles tense up. Your heart starts to palpitate inside your chest. You start to second guess what you're going to say. You've got no clue actually what you're going to say, but you know a big part of you is calling you to go over there and speak to the girl and address her. You want her, you see her, she's so fucking hot, she's so beautiful. You want to talk to her. Like your natural male desire has kicked in, but you also feel a sense of stress. We've got a fight or flight here, being attacked by stray dogs. What's going on? This is an insane country, dude. Rollerbladers rollerblading through the storm. Let's have a little pause for these guys. Nutters. But anyway, you feel stressed, you feel intimidated. Are people going to point and laugh at you? Your mate's going to take the piss out of you? Is a girl going to look at you like in absolute disgust, yeah? That's a very painful reaction to get. So boys, I know exactly what you're going through. If you are experiencing this fight or flight stress response when you see a beautiful girl, it's extremely frustrating because that's really the one thing that's getting in your way. I think most people think if they could just get rid of that, they could at least go over and put a half decent approach in. Which, by the way, you can get rid of it completely. You can get rid of it completely. But I understand the position you're in, because I was in that very same position, and I've been in it multiple times, in multiple facets. So first of all, when I first started going to clubs as an adult, I did feel quite nervous in the environment. It was more environmental than anything else. And God, so many approaches I've done where I felt like a sense of nerves, and I forced myself through the approaches. When I first started to cold approach, I felt exactly the same. I felt a sense of almost truly paralyzing fear, truly debilitating fear. Like this is not normal. Like the level of stress I'm under is, my mouth is like dry, you know. My pupils are like fucking dilating. I feel like I'm gonna collapse, right? And there was a certain point, believe it or not, it was on this very road. Saw a girl across the other side of the street, and I called out to her. She was with her mum. She was on the phone with her mum. And for some reason, I just did it right there. And that was my first ever close. And I was shitting it. I was absolutely shitting it. Because it's daytime, something I'd never done before, and it felt all that deep conditioning inside me that it was somehow wrong to do this. Because I'd seen local guys doing it, I knew that it could be done. Yeah, I felt like I've never done drugs. I don't like drugs, actually. I'm kind of against drugs. But it felt like cocaine. Like I felt like I'd just done some massive amount of cocaine after I got that close. It was amazing, amazing feeling. Do cold approach, don't do cocaine. So my point here is, I know how you are feeling, my brother. If you are struggling with that sense of fear, I know that fear intimately. It's horrible. It's horrible. But there's almost a feeling of vulnerability. That's how I felt at first. It's like I felt like a vulnerable little deer who was about to be shot, like in a little stress position. Horrible feeling, right? But let's just think about it a little bit logically. You know, that feeling is highly irrational. It doesn't actually make sense. Are you actually doing anything wrong? No. Okay, are you doing anything immoral? No. Are you doing anything that's socially taboo? Maybe for a few years it was, but let me just say this. When we've got 3 million women in America on OnlyFans dildoing themselves every day for money, I think us as heterosexual men going over to have a chat with a beautiful girl on the street, paying her a compliment, I think this is something that should absolutely be celebrated, right? This is actually a return to nature, a return to civility and normality, right? So, yeah, just rest assured. And by the way, this is the way the culture's going. This is the way the culture's going. As of right now, as of, last year, we're going back to a reset, right? Back to normality. So we don't have to worry about, being perceived negatively. As long as our approach is fairly decent, and you're fairly well dressed, you'll be absolutely fine. And I even saw a video basically of liberal women. I call these fucking libtarded women. They were complaining about liberal guys, how pussies they are. So it's in their nature, man. It's in their nature. It's in our DNA as human beings. Okay, forget all of the politics stuff. This is in our DNA, right? So it's the way the culture's going. But I do understand the fear. That programming is deep. It's probably been programmed into you for many, many years. Okay, so let's just go through a few solutions for you boys, so that if you're watching this channel, even if you know coaching is probably beyond your means at this point, if you're on my channel, thanks for being here. And I'm just going to give you guys some tips that will definitely help you get over this sense of fear, this paralyzing sense of fear. And my tip number one, numero uno, is wings. Finding yourself a decent wing, finding yourself some decent guys to go out with, or at least one decent guy, right? The reason for this is very, very primal. When you're going out to do approach, you feel that sense of vulnerability. Sometimes you even feel like it's an irrational fear, but like, is someone going to come and knock me out or something for doing this? Yeah, that never happens, but it is a weird kind of fear. You're afraid of rejection. You're afraid that the girl's going to laugh at you, she's going to spit on you, right? So it's normal, to feel like, even though you're a solid man going out there, just a little bit of support from your mates, a little bit of support from your wing bros, does not go amiss. Like, it really, really helps. There's just something so comforting about going out with another guy or another few guys, and it's actually fun. You have a chat, you go over, right, I like that one, your mate goes, go on then. And that's enough accountability for most men to at least get you into the set, right? Because your mate's there, you're watching, you kind of got some social backup, you've got some emotional backup, and you've got an emotional kind of bulletproof vest on when you've got a friend with you. Okay, so that's the number one thing I would suggest. Get yourself a wingman. That's actually part of my service, quite honestly. A significant part of my training is just having someone alongside you if you do decide to come in and train. I've also got a network of guys as well that I link my students into, so that more or less wherever they are, I can usually find people for them to wing with if they need it. Humans are pack animals, especially men with group animals, right? We're mammals. Mammals are group animals. And so it's just inherently reassuring. Your central nervous system will feel calmer in a group than on your own. Okay, that's a guarantee, especially at the beginning. When you become really, really seasoned and grizzled, you can start to reproduce that feeling alone with a few techniques that I use. But certainly at first, get yourself out in groups, my friends. These solo operators, you will burn out. You'll burn out. And like real solo operators, the ones that do long term, like cold approach, they run the whole personal life solo. It's a little bit strange. They tend to be a little bit odd, to be honest with you. So as much as possible, get yourself out with others. So the next huge aspect that holds guys back is poor self-image. A self-concept that they are simply not an attractive man. Simply not attractive. This is a huge problem. It's a huge problem. You can go over to 1,000 girls. I can teach you all of the mechanics and I can teach you all of the verbals. But if you go over and in your head you're going, I'm not attractive, I'm a loser, etc., etc. If you do not feel attractive, that will translate into your approaches and they won't go as well as you had hoped. They'll probably go quite badly, to be honest. Conversely, I could take a guy, give him some very rudimentary skills, and if he's got a great self-image and some decent feel for people, he'll do really well. So self-image is so important. That is something you're going to have to work on. And let me just give you a couple of tips here. So first of all, with your self-image, and this is something actually from NLP, is if you've done some approach, even if you do it with some bad self-image, right? But you notice a few girls, they're actually giving you the eye, right? They're actually stopping and responding to you and having a conversation. Or you have a coach like me who gives you objective appraisal, and I will tell students, no, she wasn't interested, or no, dude, she was definitely interested. I can see it in their eyes, I can see it in their body language. Once you start to get some positive feedback, you don't even need to get laid, but just some positive feedback, that means biologically some of these girls are attracted to you. So you need to run that in your mind, run those interactions, reimagine her eyes when she was looking at you, right? And do that over and over and over again with as many girls as you possibly can. So if you, let's say you did 50 approaches and 6 of them went really well, take those 6 and run them in your mind over and over and over again, right? Girls who have liked you in the past, girls who, you know, have responded well to you, ex-girlfriends, lovers, etc. Let's say you just, you know, from Tinder or whatever your social circle was before going into cold approach, run those positive comments in your mind as well. Okay, this is what you need to do, is you need to, and this needs to be, think of yourself in the past as an attractive guy, run those patterns, think of yourself in the present, and then think of yourself in the future, right? Think of yourself in the future, running these patterns in your mind, okay? What that does is your brain can't really tell the difference between what you're imagining and what you are actually experiencing. If you imagine it vividly enough, what that will start to do is it will start to solidify quite quickly you actually are an attractive guy. The next thing here that I want to actually say is most guys who come into me, no, in fact, all of the guys I've ever worked with have been above average attractiveness. So I think maybe they know on some level I am decent enough that I could make this work. So a lot of guys, you actually just look yourself in the mirror. A lot of guys, you know, basically all attractiveness means is not too many defects. That's what attractiveness actually is. It's not too many defects. Some hormonal, you know, some signs of good hormones in your face, right? So yeah, what attractiveness is to men and women is obviously quite different. As one of my students, he had a doubt in his mind because he said no women had ever hit on him. And, you know, newsflash, I'm the wing bro. I do this literally professionally. And unfortunately, you can't see, it's not to self-aggrandize, you can't see some of the ass that I've got through this, right? It's fucking world level, yeah? And no girls are approaching me, my friends. None of them, yeah? It's on me to go, I'm bald 5'7", bro, yeah? It's on me to go over and show them, hey, daddy's here, you know? So, yeah, and it's the same for most guys. The percentage of guys that will get approached by women in the street, this is, you've got to be famous, you've got to be top 0.001% looks. Even in clubs, you've got to be top 1-2% looks. Look, don't worry about that, yeah? What is literally attractive, and also all these looks maxing little pussies, that is not getting a woman's pussy wet, right? Sorry to break your fucking, sorry to burst your bubble, right? That little fucking face maxing fucking exercises, they're not getting her wet between the fucking legs. She's not what she's fantasizing about being taken and like pinned against a wall by a fucking werewolf, fucked against the wall. Look into female fantasies, right? This is what actually turns them on. So cold approach, being that bold, charismatic, dangerous fucking leader, or even just being proactive, right? That already shows all this stuff. Even if you're shy, I've had girls say to me, like, I know you're quite shy, but the fact is I still went over, right? And they still, like, it still gets me in the game. Most of my value comes on the back end, personally. So as long as you're getting yourself in there, even if you're a little bit shy, it will be perceived as bold. Boldness of itself is sexually attractive. So cold approach in of itself is an attractive thing to do. Capiche? Understood? Got it? Now linked to self-concept is also state. What state are you going over to these interactions in? And this is where my approach differs a little bit from some of the other guys who are also very good at this. What state are you going to the girl in? So we kind of have a school of thought where it's all about taking action. You've got to get yourself in there. And absolutely that is the case. But but what happens if you're constantly nervous, shitting yourself on every single approach? Should you still just get yourself in there? Is that actually sustainable? I would argue no. Because ultimately, like, if you hate doing something, you're not going to keep doing it, right? So we need to get you in a state where you are actually enjoying this process. And that can be done
in, well, it's not just done through action, right? It's partly done through visualization. So I use some techniques, extremely advanced techniques from NLP, which cost me $2,000 to get. And that's how I control my state, and I'm able to operate, you know. When I went for my own immersion to learn cold approach, the biggest thing my coach said, his takeaway was, first of all, you're fucking aggressive with this, so that's good. And then, just got soaked there. But it was also, your state management is exceptional, because we're doing so many approaches, some of them very difficult, and there was no breakdowns, there was no stress. I'm just like, right, we're on to the next, we'll do this. And that's because I've got some very advanced state management tools involving NLP that I use, okay? It's an amazing tool, to be honest with you, the tool that I use. Another thing that relates to states, other thing, you know, simple things. Could we go for a little cold approach session after you've just met up with your mates, after you've just been with at the gym, on your way to meet your friends, right? You've got this kind of social momentum, social buffer zone around you, and you kind of bring people into that, you bring people into your orbit. Okay, so that's great for your state as well. What about when you've just had a great day, right? I found this in Serbia. Like, Serbia's quite unforgiving. So if I had a fairly shit day and I wasn't just feeling that great, I'd go and do the approaches anyway out of pure discipline, and they would fall completely flat. And when I'd had a good day and I was feeling great, I was like, right, watch out, because I'm gonna take your fucking head off. And that's how I felt like Mike Tyson. And my approaches were just monstrous those nights, absolutely monstrous, right? It'll be the same for anyone, right? It'll be the same for anyone. So when you're feeling really good, don't just fucking drop some approaches on these, drop some of your magic boys on these girls. They're absolutely waiting for you, okay? So the last thing I'll say with states, this is something I've been looking at, well, just experiencing this last couple of weeks, is look into your use of substances. By substances, I mean specifically tobacco, caffeine, and alcohol. Caffeine is a real tricky one. Caffeine's a real tricky one because people use it for work, productivity, push through, you know, tired days and so on, and you get into a habit. So you go out at the weekend, you're like, shit, I need a coffee before I approach, you know, and then you have a break, you have another coffee. Coffee is actually a toxin. Caffeine is actually a toxin, and it puts your body into a fight or flight response in order to remove the toxin from your body. That's what gives you the pep, right? But it is actually, it's toxic, and that's why you piss. That's why you piss more, basically. It's diuretic. So, but it elevates the cortisol level in your body. Okay, so that's something to think about. I'm 2 weeks off coffee at the moment. I can't remember the last time I felt this relaxed. Honestly, probably like more than a decade ago. Because of my job, you know, we all know how it goes. We all become caffeine fiends, right? And you can still approach and do it all with caffeine, but with caffeine in your system. But I just, like, last Saturday I went out and fuck me, I closed 2 last Saturday. No caffeine in my system, and I was so relaxed, dude. And I was alone as well. I was alone at a massive festival, which you can see in my shorts. And I'm like, I'm good, man. I'm good. So look into your caffeine consumption, yeah? Be something to think about. Yeah, I would say for guys who are serious about cold approach, eventually, you know, you want to be bringing a lot of calm and presence into your approaches, right? You don't want to just be hyper and wired all the time. It's not that seductive. You can still do well with that, but I think thinking about reducing caffeine consumption or just cutting it out completely, you might suffer for a few weeks, but it's something I'm going to be doing at least for the next month, for sure. And I will report back on that. So state management, state control. The next issue guys have with cold approach, with approach anxiety, something that literally gives you anxiety, is just literally, what the fuck do I do? Okay. You know, it's all right saying, oh, just throw yourself in there. I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that. You just throw yourself in there with no technical knowledge at all, no guidelines. It's going to be very hit and miss. And if you're kind of already anxious, you're sensitive, and you just make a few technical fuck-ups, you know, that can be on a hard street or in a hard country. If your approach isn't on point, you can go 20 and 0, easy. You know, like it's not good, right? It's not good. So you need to have some technical proficiency. I've talked about it on this channel, but ultimately to get that, you need to either see guys who are good, very good, but realistically, to get good fast, you want to have coaching. I got coached, and then within my group, we've got all these maniacs going out, including myself, every week, multiple times a week, and we're trading notes. So the level we're at in the discipline, no one's at this level. When people see me and my mates out on the street, it really is like, wait, what are they doing? How are they getting all these girls into conversations like so often and closing girls so often? Right, that's kind of what people were thinking in Serbia, right? It's like Serbia is a very conservative country. It's not that easy at all. If your approach is not on point, she's gone. You fucking lost her, dude. There's a lot to do in Serbia. Like, you have to have on-point mechanics. You have to be absolutely feeling yourself, and you have to be presentable. That's a minimum standard. You'll get results with that. If anything's off, it's very unforgiving. And we were clinical, dude. We were clinical. Obviously, we didn't close every girl. We didn't even close 50% of the girls, obviously. But in terms of actually getting good approaches in, we were working fucking wonders, mate. Working wonders. And it's because of the technical proficiency. Same with my students. This is the great thing when you actually work with someone. You get all my knowledge and all of my friends' knowledge. You just download it. Because it's not that much. You just have to know exactly what the fuck to do, right? And if you know it, you'll be unstoppable. Guys I worked with, like, honestly, Manchester and Belgrade, the guys I was working with, like, almost definitely within the first 10, a lot of them were getting numbers. Yeah, and it's like staggering. They've never done cold approach before at all. Just take them through the approach, this, and this. Let's get rolling. Okay, so it's a really good discipline for studious guys who are highly intelligent, who are methodical, and go, yeah, I get it. I can follow these instructions. I can go over. I feel all right. Let's go and fucking do it. You'll get results. So having clear methodology is so important. Yeah, methodology to fall back on. If you're just winging it, you're flying by the seat of your pants. A lot is going to get away from you. Okay. The whole energy thing, when you're just overpowering with your energy and confidence, that's when you're in a really high level. When you're a beginner, you just need to know what the fuck to do mechanically and technically. And some of that is conversational as well. Some of it's mindset as well. So yeah, I mean, there are a lot of things working against you, right? When you first come into cold approach, there's the anxiety, there's the stress, and then there's also just the fact that you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And that also adds to that anxiety and stress as well. Is it really any wonder? And then plus the cultural stuff, is it really any wonder that hardly anyone does this, right? Not really. And my mission on this channel is to encourage guys to go out there and start actually doing some cold approach. And really my mission is to find, I'm Morpheus, right? And you might just be Neo if you're watching this channel. My mission is to find those guys out there who get it, who understand, yeah, this is actually feasible. You can look at some of my infields and go, if he can do it, that bald old fuck, then I can probably do it as well, right? So that's the type of guy I'm looking for. I'm looking for Neo, basically. You know, if you just know in your heart of hearts right now you're not where you need to be in your personal life, you're not getting what you fucking deserve. Like, let's be real. Like, is this, you know, a 6 years on fucking apps? Is this what you want? Do you want to just live the rest of your life watching the girl go by, watching her go by, and just every fucking time you never make the move, over and over and over again? Do you know how much that strangles your fucking heart? Yeah, I know, because that's exactly how I felt, right? So this is a question you've got to ask yourself, boys. It's a question you've got to ask yourself. I still miss chances now and it pisses me off, but fair play, I put in so many reps that it's like, yes, that's all right. But if I was missing every single chance, which I was in daytime before I learned how to do it properly, it's horrible. It's a horrible feeling. And you know there's something wrong. Deep down, you know this is not normal. I should be able to just go and have a conversation. I'm a grown fucking man. Jesus Christ, what the fuck is wrong with me, right? And the fact is, yeah, this is why I've set this channel up. This is why I believe in it so much, because it will change your life in a day, getting coached, right? For the right guy, this will permanently change your life within a few hours. And within a couple of days, you know, you can become very proficient, because the coaching is honestly, it's premium, dude. My God, if I'd had myself now coaching me age 21, holy shit, there would be no population crisis in the Western world, let me assure you that, if I'd had these skills when I was 21 years old. Now, in addition to all the training and camaraderie and technical expertise that I'm able to give guys, I also give guys 90-day support as well, because you can't just do a weekend. You need to embed the skill over a period of time, and you need to embed the right mentalities over a period of time. And yeah, that 90-day support guys find invaluable as well. And I do check in as well. I'm not, that's not just something I say, I actually check in. Even if guys are trying to avoid me, I'll check in, yeah? I will definitely, because I want students to be accountable for themselves, right? Because their success is my success. This is something I believe in. And I understand that not everyone is a complete maniac like I was when I first trained. Some guys just need that extra bit of, you know, follow-up and training, and just that extra bit of encouragement and accountability. So I also provide that as well as part of my service. So I'll put all of the links below. You can email me directly to tell me your situation if you're feeling shy. You can book a call if you want. Hey, you can even go and buy my book. Go and buy my book if you want, which is a historical fiction book about pre-civilizational Europe, basically. Yeah, there is a very interesting relationship there, though. This one of the coolest cold approaches imaginable in that book. So I'll put all those details below. And yeah, I really just want to. The last thing I'll finish on, guys, is I said this at the start of the video, is the cold approach is not an evolutionary reaction. Okay? It's not. This is a myth. People like Mystery and all these people, you know, they tried their best, they did great things, but they did not have all the answers. And the idea that it's an evolutionary reaction is complete garbage. And let me tell you why. Some guys do not have any approach anxiety. For example, me. On a decent day nowadays, I got nothing. I don't feel anything. All I feel is, well, I'm going to be getting your number soon. That's really all I'm feeling, right? And other friends of mine as well, some of the guys I go out with, they're exactly the same, right? So if it's evolutionary, yeah, that's, you know, that wouldn't happen, okay? Like if a loud bang goes off, I'm always going to have a flinch response because that is evolutionary, right? If I see a large pair of tits right in front of my face, I'm also going to have an evolutionary reaction, right? And there are guys who are even totally untrained, who don't know what any of this stuff is, never done any practice at all, who don't feel any stress at all going over to approach women. Yeah, so it's obvious, you know, I'm in Dominican Republic, trust me, 90% of the guys here don't feel shit, trust me. Like, yeah, the approaches you see here sometimes are fucking wild. Yeah, it's calmed down a little bit since I got back, but some of the stuff I've seen here is absolutely fucking wild. Right? Those guys are not feeling any stress or anxiety, right? If it were built in, it would be something you would always feel. Now, does it really actually make sense as well? Like, does it actually make sense that it would be something that would be adaptive? Because for things to evolve, they have to be adaptive. It's actually maladaptive, right? It's culturally put into guys, right? So that's the last thing I'll finish on, is don't buy into the bullshit. There's so much bullshit out there. Like all these guys like online, all these face maxing fucking weirdos, all these guys telling you have to be rich. I even get it from clients sometimes. They're telling me this, that and the other. This is like prospective clients. Frankly, ones I've not worked with, and I'm like, bruv, you don't know what you're talking about. I am not tall. I am not rich. I am 40 years old. I am bald, right? And I am getting results I'm very happy with women in their early 20s, my friends. Early 20s, yeah? So, where's your excuse? I use myself as a case study, partly to self-aggrandize, to be honest with you. You know, you do all this stuff, like it's nice to put it online, have a witness to it. But the reason I'm my best case study is because I know my own case better than anyone else. And I know the difference between a guy who knows between being a guy who knows what he's doing and a guy who just didn't have any fucking clue, had the wrong mindsets, and I just couldn't get it together. I couldn't get it together. I know that feeling. It's so fucking frustrating. I swear to God, when I was younger, early 20s, I felt I was so underperforming in this domain. I was so useless. Even though I had like girlfriends when I was younger, that was just through proximity. I was so useless that I remember thinking, if I don't sort this out at some point, this is gonna ruin my life. That's how I felt. Like, you can't escape it. You can't escape it. You can't go MGTOW. It's bullshit. You can't. You need to actually have sexual experiences to even make that decision, right? And most guys don't want that anyway. They want to have families, right? So you don't have an option. You don't have an option. And if you're just waiting on who approaches you, you're being passive. A little supermarket disco's open tonight. It's too rainy, so there's no one in there. But if you're just a passive little wallflower, you can't make it happen. It ruins your fucking life. That's just the honest truth, man. Health, wealth, and relationships. You need to have all three of those things. I mean, when I was sick last week, I was violently sick last week, which is why I quit caffeine. Violently ill. And I had a beautiful 26-year-old girl nursing me for 5 days, like, for free. Yeah. Like, I've had illnesses in the past where I was alone. Yeah, trust me, it feels a lot nicer when you've got someone nursing you, taking care of you, you know, just taking a load off your life, right? All of these things. I met that girl obviously through Daytime Approach, right? So it's changed my life for the better. It changed my friends' lives for the better. I'm still improving. I'm still going to be taking this shit to the fucking moon. We're still exploring this territory, right? And a lot of the guys out there chatting, they're not fucking doing anything. You can't actually see them. All these experts, show me at least 5 infields. Just show me a few approaches. I understand it's a ball ache to go and do it, but show me a few approaches. No, a lot of these people are not even showing any approaches, right? So you can probably tell from my conversation, I know what I'm talking about, but you can also see it as well. You can literally see me interacting on this channel. Like, you don't have to take my word for it, just go and watch some of the infields as well. Obviously they're not perfect, but you can at least see, okay, this guy actually is doing it, right? Yeah. Unlike fucking half the other people on the internet talking about women, fucking psychologists talking about women, you can't see them fucking bow tie, you can't see them doing anything. Give me a break. Anyway, a lot of ranting on this video, boys, but I feel very passionate about this subject because it's improved my life so much. And I'm building a brotherhood here. Bratba 2026 is on the way. It's just going to be a thing of beauty. And I'm out here as Morpheus to find Neo. So if that's you, fucking get in touch. I am doing these videos for you. If you are Neo, you're a good quality guy who's got it all together, and you're going, what the fuck? Why can I not get the girls? Why is it all stacked against me? What the fuck am I supposed to do? Cold approach will pull you out of that, pull you into reality. And there's other stuff as well, guys. Learn with me as well. Again, there's no way for me to say this shit without self-aggrandizing, but they'll be like, right, this girl said this, that, and the other, and I'll say, do this, say this, do this. And lo and behold, every single time it fucking works. Yeah, because I've spent literally decades of my life trying to figure this shit out, and I've been around very, very good guys who've taught me, and I've innovated things myself. So there we go, that's enough self-promotion, boys. Let's hope Storm Melissa doesn't hit too hard this evening. I hope you're all doing well. If you are that Neo guy, just keep watching the videos, just keep watching. I'm not showing anyone till 2026, but if you do want to get in touch in the meantime, feel free to do that. There's a lot more fucking content coming your way, boys. I promise you that. There's a lot more content coming your way. So we'll be upgrading some of the kit. I'm not just going to be on the bloody Samsung phone forever. We're going to be doing some serious upgrades in the next few months. So boys, I'll leave things there. Peace, love, it's Jacewski. Catch you in the next one.